Arriving at the U.S. Naval Base, Norfolk, Virginia, able-bodied seaman. Hometown, Portaia, Italy. Mario is one of many men of many nations assigned to an operation unique in modern naval history. Mario acquired his American sea bag at a U.S. Navy school on his way to the destroyer that will be his home during his new assignment.
The USS Claude V.
Yes, it's over there.
The Claude V. Ricketts is a guided missile destroyer of the U.S. Navy, but half her crew hails from other navies. Their assignment, to provide information about what happens when men of different language, discipline, and tradition serve together on a single highly sophisticated ship in their own common cause. For mixed manning is an important part of a proposed multilateral force now being considered for a major role in the Atlantic community's nuclear defense. With this in mind, President Kennedy offered to make this ship available for the mixed manning demonstration. The international flavor is apparent immediately as Pellegrini reports to an American officer who calls on Britain's Royal Navy to conduct the Italian to his quarters. Much about a ship's maintenance is common to all navies. But along with such routine duties, classes are required to familiarize the men with practices and equipment that do differ from one navy to another. Emergency shipboard use of common woods is reviewed by a Dutch officer, an Italian seaman, and a Greek petty officer. Courses range from ship's boilers to electronics. Today's officer of the deck is Italian. The ship is ready for inspection.
All right, fall in for inspection. 2 ranks. Short men forward, tall men aft. Line it up with a man in front of you.
An American bosun's mate
Hunt.
reports to a British officer.
Morning, sir. First division, ready for your inspection.
Thank you, Bellswag.
Procedure is American, but the differences in uniforms point up the international origins of the crew. Panagiotis Panorgios, Athens, Greece. Gerd Dossinger, Germany. Michael Scarf, England. Thomas Sohutsky, United States. At full strength, the ship's crew totals some 340 officers and men from Germany, Italy, Greece, and Britain, America, the Netherlands, and Turkey. Seaman Pellegrini, the latest arrival, takes his place with his new shipmates. Colin Morris from Portsmouth, Hans Gastel of Wolferdingsen, John Arnold from Lillington, North Carolina. In this operation, knowledge of English is required. No problem for Lieutenant Robert Dibble. He's from the Royal Navy.
Slack at 3. Right in, hand over hand fast. Let's go.
Check 2.
As the destroyer moves out, the mixed crew mans the bridge. U.S. Navy Commander Thomas Fortson is captain of the ship. But Italy's Lieutenant Renato Sigurezza is conning officer in charge of today's operations, while a German serves at the helm. Eckhard Velbrach of Bremerhaven. Leslie Gibson, U.S. Navy, mans the telegraph to the engine room far below deck, where Hans Galle of Hamburg stands at the throttle. Officer in charge of the engine room is Uwe Markson of Neumünster. Lieutenant Alex Hatsakas of Athens heads damage control. Engine room petty officer first class Lim is from Liverpool. Lieutenant Karim Askan of Bolu, Turkey. As navigator, he charts the course out of Norfolk Harbor. The Turkish officer is assisted by Wolfgang Arnold, Federal German Navy.
185, 600. Combat holes assigned course. Present course and speed look good.
At sea, their port may be anywhere. Their goal is always the same: to weld themselves into a unified, effective team. Instruction continues at sea. In small units, they learn on the job, rehearsing for emergencies. Which one is Italian, Greek, American? It's hard to tell when they change to working uniforms. Englishmen, American, and all the others are simply sailors. Not so strange to each other after all. The same goes for the officers. Relaxed, off duty, they get to know each other. The ship carries books in many languages: English, Turkish, Greek, Dutch, German, Italian. But even here, the crew finds a lot in common. To an American and a German, an Italian magazine speaks a universal language.
What are you doing, Lanceman?
I'm reading.
What are you reading?
I read a sexy thriller.
A sexy thriller.
Yeah. He's studying to go up for chief, I think.
They live in close quarters, and they find problems are pretty much the same the world over.
She still love you?
No, it looks like she's run off with some other bloke.
They're all the same, I guess. Take a shower.
The Navy's air arm provides training services for the destroyer.
Sonar contact, bearing 090, range 3,000.
This time, the drill simulates a submarine attack. The Dutch officer and Greek sonar man must pinpoint the sub for the ship's ASROC anti-submarine rockets.
Classification, possible submarine.
Electronic devices crammed into the ship's Combat Information Center are familiar to all navies.
140.
The surface-to-air missiles are anti-aircraft Tartars.
300.
Fire!
Station 6. 305, 100. Foxtrot 3.
Director 1, Air Defense, commence fire. Rapid continuous fire.
After the day's work together, friendships grow. Shared experience sharpens the sense of humor.
Hey, Dibble, where were you when that plane came over today? I didn't see any movement up there. Thought I was ducking. Sorry about that, brother.
As proficiency increases, the mixed crew feels ready for a more difficult test of seamanship. They've learned to work as a unit. Now they'll see how well their team can work with other units of the fleet. Without stopping, the destroyer is about to take on fuel from another ship. Below the oiler's decks, thousands of gallons are ready for the destroyer. To make the transfer safely, the ships must be brought close enough for a man to throw a line. And that distance must not vary more than a few yards from start to finish, while speeds are coordinated precisely. The destroyer slows her engines to match the oiler's speed. The bolo is a heaving line that first links the ships, then is used to bring over progressively heavier lines. Now the fuel hoses follow the heavier lines and cable. One hose at midships, another forward.
Heads up.
While the two bridges and engine rooms strain to maintain their closely synchronized movements, the forward hose is secured. The second hose saves time.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Every minute counts in an operation often made extremely hazardous by wave and weather. In the same manner, all sorts of supplies can be transferred at sea. To do this, a high line is rigged between the ships. Mail, food, spare parts. Nearly everything the destroyer requires is as near as the nearest oiler or supply ship. Sometimes men themselves make the journey over the treacherous water between ships. Manpower keeps the lines taut when personnel are moved.
Hand over hand pass. Let's go.
Many hands reduce the danger of a sudden parting.
Move out. What are you doing over there on this line? Keep it down on her. Bring it in. Come on. Hit it. Back it out.
The destroyer pulls away, her crew satisfied that the human factor would present no insurmountable problem in an international fleet. To clear skies darkened by the constant threat of sudden attack, a multilateral nuclear fleet has been proposed. This new proposal offers nations of the Atlantic community greater participation in and greater responsibility for their own defense. The The destroyer demonstrates the feasibility of one part of the proposal, viewed by its proponents as a less dangerous, less costly way to clear the threat of aggression from Atlantic community skies. Heading for a safe harbor again, satisfied with a job well done, Mario Pellegrini and his mates have found it easy to leave differences far astern. In their unique demonstration aboard the destroyer Ricketts, men of 7 nations live in harmony in common cause.